Morning. Welcome to episode 6 of $9 Podcast. I am moderator of the TalkNShop Patreon. People call me Drewski. And I've been called a lot, I've been called many names in my life. 90% of them unpleasant. Just like 75 different, at least 75 different pronunciations of my name. And that will never change. It's been that way my entire life. I've been called Drewski since I was in junior high school because I had a PAC. My P my PE teachers in junior high. This is a shoot. Their names were Coach Balls and Coach Hiscock. Yeah, you can't fake that. You can't make that shit up. You know, Coach Balls was the one who decided, hey, I can't. He didn't really come out and say, oh, I can't pronounce your last kid. I can't pronounce your last name. Just screw it. I'm just gonna call you Drewski. It's been that way ever since seventh grade. Yeah, being the shy the shy introvert kid I am, I just let it go. Because hey, I think okay, it's a lot less headache to like continuously explain. No, no, no. It's even more fun. It was like when I was in junior high. It was like, but uh, the Cold War was still going on pretty much, and people, I got people trying to pick fights with me because they thought my last name was Russian, and it's not. Believe it or not, I'm half Irish. My mom was full Irish. She's a descendant of the O'Flaherty clan. If you look up the O'Flaherty clan is is well known in Irish history. Google Google Grace O'Malley. Her she was a pirate. She was a pirate queen in Ireland. She married into the O'Flaherty family, and basically her crew was all O'Flaherty family members, and they would sack British ships. So I'm descended from pirate. Good times. And you wonder why my Twitter handle's Scurvy Dog. Pirate descendant. So as I'm doing this about 4:08 in the afternoon out here in sunny California, IA. You know, checking up on the news, checking up on the reactions of AJ Lee returning to WWF, WWE. Triple H say, "Oh, welcome home." It's like, ooh, I heard as soon as I saw that video, I'm all, good. Uh, uh, just remembering the contract negotiations with the boys, where he used that phrase. Like, it's like nails on chalkboard. Like they don't really care. It's like, but Punk seemed happy. AJ is in amazing shape. I have to admit, she doesn't look like bringing her back in the same outfit. Same outfit didn't hurt. But it's like it'd be interesting to see how they handled her because if I remember correctly, her retirement was because her back was like extremely fucked up, and she took like one more bump. It would have paralyzed her for life. So something must have happened like in the last 10 years or so. It could be a Shawn Michaels situation where all he needed was rest, Or she went and got went and got yeah, stem stem cell therapy for her back. I mean, who's to say? We won't know the truth until she eventually comes out with a book about this whole thing in a couple of years. Until then, all you can do is speculate. And you know, in terms of speculating, it's like AJ, AJ, Uncle Alan. 5 months left, apparently. 5 months, 5 months left on his contract with with WWE, and already the wheels are turning. Like Sean Ross Sapp comes out, says, "Oh," comes out with a tweet saying, "Oh, I only." He's gonna his last match will be a Mania, all right, but it won't be the Mania you think of. And what did he post? He posted a picture of the boys talking shop Mania. He's, Sean Ross Sapp is secretly on the booking committee for Talking Shop Mania, apparently. And it's nice to know that. It's like at this rate, there's more people booking the show than actually being on the show, and that might be a problem, right? I'm just saying. And don't even have a goddamn card. We got it's like too many, too many cucks in the kitchen. Once again, it's like just shake your head and go, come on. Anyway, all the AEW fans are already, know, they're chomping at the bit because they want AJ, they want AJ in the worst way to come to AEW so he can, they're floating out the idea, AJ versus Osprey and Wembley for all in next year, which would be amazing, but you know, Billy Boy hasn't gone under the knife yet. You don't know how his next surgery is gonna going to if it's gonna take or not. Because he's right to be scared because it could go wrong. You can't. It's fun to speculate on that stuff, but I'd rather be certain that as soon as we get a timeline of how recovery time, then you could plausibly start to to discuss that shit. So um, and apparently a couple days ago, well, actually last week, Tony Khan had moved the Ring of Honor pay-per-view up a week. Today, as I was taping this, tonight was supposed to be the night of the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view, but he moved it up a week so it wouldn't interfere with the wedding that a lot of people were going to, and because it was an important wedding he had to go to. And it turns out that wedding was MJF, and Alicia are tight, cute. So Alicia's a good kid, you know, good Canadian girl. But, the funny thing about it is, the wedding photo surface is basically, you know, the people involved in the picture is like, okay, that blew about 4 or 5 different feuds right there. Because you see Hangman in the back in the photo. You see the funniest part of the photo is you see Sleepy Who trying to step on tiptoes, trying to look look over from the back row. You can see his work. Should have got him a milk box, or a milk crate or something to stand on. No chance, right? But everybody was already immediately started giving started talking crap about like, kayfabe is ruined. Oh my god! Right? And TK comes out with the Phil Watts explanation for it. It's like they're not here for Hangman's not here for MJF. He's here to celebrate Alicia. But he give a fuck about it. Basically, he give a fuck about it. Supporting MJF. He's supporting Alicia. Alicia on her big day. It's a very Bill Watts thing to do. It's like it sort of saved the illusion of kayfabe, which I really appreciate the effort he was going through for that. But it's fun to see. Wrestling. There's nothing like a wrestling wedding. It's a bucket list item of mine to be invited to one of those things because anything can happen at a wrestling wedding. There's a fame. There's a famous story LG's talked about on one of the TDH talking shops about about the wedding, about his first wedding to she who will not be named. That uh, the wedding reception for that one. Roderick Strong tried to pick a fight with one of Gallows' brothers at the reception because it was open bar. It's like, and the LG had to break it up. It's like, well, well, pro wrestlers in an open bar. It's an invitation for chaos. Has anybody who's seen the Bullet Club Party DVD knows full well. The boys were in New York tonight doing like I think a signing somewhere, and tomorrow they're back in Tennessee, complete their little loop, and then they're home for a day, and then they're back out, and heading for England next week. So you're going to be seeing, with the time difference, I'll be getting tweets from the gun like about when I'm working. His morning tweets will be like about 10 or 11 o'clock my time at night. But we can run around. Let's get it. Chaos. Just chaos and spirits flying. Always, all the time. And mm, yeah, it's funny. It's like I recorded episode 4 of the podcast about 12 days ago, and the gun does not check his DMs. Florida is still not on the man. Am I being rockied? I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I'm here. I'm here doing. I, I'm in here every day. For Christ's sake. Unlike Sleepy, who knows what his excuse of 30 jobs and being vice president in 3 different companies. It's like, yeah, no, yeah. Like that's an excuse. Um, I sent off episode 5 yesterday. So when the gun was joking a couple days ago about Drewski might. I think Drewski has like 19 episodes. He sent me that I gotta get to. He keeps ignoring DMs. It's gonna eventually get to that point. It's stacked up like planes over the Guardian. Or plane, So, yeah. I should, I give the boys the benefit of the doubt because they're way busier than I am. I just deal with drunks nightly. Especially tonight, it's a full moon. I gotta pick up the pieces of like, it's like a Powerball tonight. It's like 1,800,000,000. And yeah, lotteries get that big, so it brings out the worst in people because everybody thinks it's their money already. They're already spending it before they even buy a ticket. They got the grand plan in their head, and it's like they don't really think it through. And uh, I'm kind of not. I'm kind of the same way, but the temptation to be a money market would be high, be very high. It's like Lariata Pro would become very high budget. I might be able to afford her like a Jimmy Wang Yang. Who knows? No, fingers crossed. You know, it's. Yeah, and I found out that Brian Danielson's going to be on commentary now full time on Dynamite. Nigel on Collision. It's interesting. It's like they may be scaling back Tony Schiavone, which which I could see. Tony's at that point where it's like he doesn't need to be behind the desk. It's like in the him and Renee in the Mean Gene role is perfect for that company, right? But they've got an abundance. They have an overabundance of people who can do that stuff, which is a great thing to have. So, a very good thing to have him do. It's I said I've been trying to level up every episode. Went and got new lighting. Been testing it out a little bit because it's interesting. It's just you just it's trial and error. Got to figure out what works, what doesn't. It's like next will be this thing right here. As you can see, light comes through it. And I got like a proper green screen on the way. And it should be a very eventful weekend for everybody. That's because CCW actually did their tournament of death today, and for the first time ever in their company's history, they actually decided to stream it on IWTV. I've seen highlights of it scattered all over Twitter. And, the general consensus is that it was a broadcast wise, it was a home run, but some of the stuff that was happening in that match was dangerous as hell, right? They had a wrestler do an entrance with set his car on fire and drove it through a flaming ladder, you know, in a grassy field. And then later on in that same match he was in, because it's like a death match invitational, he gets in the car, gets in that same car, and he tries to run over his opponent, misses him, then runs into somebody else trying to get into their car. And it looked like, hey, look, we filmed vehicular homicide. It's like not it was Cornette would have had an Cornette will have an aneurysm looking at footage of this stuff. The only thing better than that was Twitter timeline basically clowning on DJ Hyde's appearance. I mean, my God. DJ Hyde is, if you don't know, a real piece of work, real carny piece of work. So, you ever, Yeah, Kevin Owens has a really good rant about DJ Hyde in one of the shoot interviews. That's like that's still accurate today. You know, I remember he tried putting out like a compilation video of like you know all the female talent that that ended up in AEW that had time in CCW, including Cherry Bomb. He tried to market it, as a TNA type thing. No, and I'm not talking about TNA the company. I'm talking Fifth and Ass, right? And that's you know try to market it like a girls gone wild thing, and it's like, yeah, it's like no, you're defeating the purpose, and you're insulting the people that work for you by doing that. It's like, well, celebrate them for the talents that they are, not you don't objectify them for crying out loud. It's a bad press. It's a bad look. It's always been a bad look. Even in the attitude area, it's a bad look. Especially, when WWE basically drove it into the ground where it was like every week it was like, okay, what new kind of, uh, stuff that can we put in a swimming pool, is like, into a pool for the girls for, wrestling around in. It's like, what kind of singles bar bullshit is this, right? Uh, yeah, don't get me started on that crap.